Hey guys, welcome back. It's Steph at the Not Basic Homestead. If you're new here, we are a family of four. We live in a suburban area in Nebraska, and we consider ourselves homesteaders just because we try to do as much for ourselves as we possibly can. Um, so we've been doing a lot of things lately, guys. We've been gardening, canning, preserving, cooking, and now the holiday season is upon us, and I'm going to take this week to get a jump start on some stuff. So we're going to play around with sourdough. I know there's 10,000 videos out on sourdough, but hey guys, why not make one, right? Anyways, I started my sourdough today. Okay, so I have a sourdough starter. Her name is Martha. She's about a year old now, and I've made several loaves. I use a lot of her discard for our sandwich bread just because my family likes the taste of the sourdough, but they don't always want the strong sourdough, so we just do the discard sandwich bread. And we're going to kind of play around with some of those recipes as well. But I do need to get some sourdough loaves baked up for Thanksgiving next week. And so we're going to play around with, I'm going to do just a regular one, and then I'm going to do a rosemary infused one. Or I might just use the rosemary and try to make some focaccia, I think is how you say it. I don't know. That's how I say it, and that's what we're going to roll with today, all right? But anyways, when I did my discard and stuff in Fedder this morning, I realized I need more for 2 loaves. So I'm going to show you guys how I feed my starter, okay? I went ahead and I already took some and put some in the discard jar or whatever, but what you need is you need a scale, okay? So I'm going to put her on the scale and I'm going to hit 0, all right? And you want to make sure that your scale is in grams. So I already did the 60 to 60, so I'm just going to do another 60 to 60 or whatever for her. So I use bottled water is what I do. If I didn't have any bottled water, I would use tap water, but I would make sure that I let it set out overnight so the chlorine came out of it. Oh, we're at 58. 61, that's okay, close enough, all right? But you want to make sure the chlorine is out of your water because you don't want the chlorine in your water. So I've learned, we tried doing a starter with all-purpose flour. Did not work. Did not work for us. Oh, 123, close enough. And so I've learned for us that bread flour works the best. All right, so the flour's in there right now. So now I'm just going to stir this up. And you want it to kind of be pancake batter consistency is about the best way I can describe it. So I just kind of take it and I wipe the edges off and all that. Let's see if I can get you guys zoomed in and see watch what I'm doing here. Now my loaves may not be the best to sell, but my family likes them and I like it. So that's what matters, right guys? As long as your family sells it. I work with somebody and oh man, she has a little business and she does some sourdough and she blows my mind on all the things that she does. So she's gotten me to want to experiment more too with our sourdough. I took this out of the fridge yesterday just to kind of get her to room temp and wake up a little bit. And then I did my discard, and I'm leaving the discard out as well because I don't know if I'm going to make the loaf today or if I'm going to do it tomorrow. I probably should make a sandwich loaf today. And so maybe I'll bring you guys along for that as well on what I do. But right now, we're just going to do some fun experimenting. I want to try to make our dinner rolls for next week. I've never made dinner rolls before, so we're going to experiment with that. So instead of going to the store and buying some, I want to try to do as much from scratch as I possibly can for our Thanksgiving dinner. I do have to work that day, so a lot of stuff I will get ready and prepare the day before, and then my husband just throws it all in the oven for me. But we'll go through, and when I'm getting everything ready, I will show you guys what I do for that. So stay tuned. All right, so then I just kind of try to push down as much of what I have on the sides of the jar down, because I want all of that just getting incorporated in, and I want this starter to get woke up and happy. So yeah, some of that flour's just not wanting to, that's all right. Just more to feed, right? Okay, so we have about, well, we've done 120 grams of flour and about 120 grams of water. So, all right, so now, oh, camera just doesn't want to work with me today. So now we just gonna let her sit. I'm gonna put her in a warm area. For me, I found in my house what works the best is on top of the dishwasher. Right on, oh goodness, my trash can don't want to open. Okay, something's stuck on it. Oh, oops, sorry guys. Okay, so here's Martha. You can kind of see she does have some bubbles in her. She's, you know, because I've already kind of fed her. So I just sit my jar on. I don't put it on too tight. And then we're just gonna, I like to grab out a paper plate, and we just set her on the counter right there. I use a paper plate just because if she does explode and get all over the place, it's just throw away. I don't have to worry about washing anything or throwing anything down my drains, because I've been hearing that, you know, you don't want a lot of floured water going down your drains because that's not good. So I try to avoid that if I can. We don't need a plumber bill. We don't need that. Okay, so she's gonna sit for about 4 to 5 hours. I think I'm gonna go get some stuff ready, and let's get a sandwich loaf started as well, okay? Okay, I got everything set up. So I've got a cup of water here, and I just use the fridge water for that because it is filtered. But I just need a fourth of a cup of whole milk, which I'm gonna add into this for right now. And then I'm just gonna throw it in the microwave. Oh, I start at 30-second increments when I'm doing that. I don't do the full minute, because sometimes it gets way too hot too quickly. So if I learned if I do 30 seconds and then another 30 seconds, it gets just to the right temperature. Okay, so I buy my yeast in bulk or whatever. It's cheaper, and you know, I've already gone through a quarter of the bag, so it's just easier. And I keep it in the freezer. I just keep it in a Ziploc bag and I throw it in the freezer. Okay, 30 seconds. So I'm just gonna open up the door and kind of get a feel of it. Not ready yet, so we'll do another 30 seconds. Okay, so this is a recipe for just sandwich bread. I have not added in the discard into this bread yet, so we're gonna do that today. We're gonna try the discard in here. But what I do is I get I just use my stand mixer or whatever to throw everything into. So what I need to start off with is we need 2 tablespoons of sugar. There's 1. That's a clump, I don't know. And there's 2. Okay, sugar is done. Let's check our milk. Okay, so if you can hold your finger in it for 10 seconds, it's ready to go, okay? You don't want it hot because that will kill your yeast. I'm gonna go ahead and pour the milk mixture in, and I did forget to grab a whisk. All right, now our yeast. We need 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. So 1, 2. Oh, it's already starting to get happy and excited. And then the 4th tablespoon. All right, so I'm just going to stir all of this together here. Make sure you guys can, oh, there's a little bit of yeast still sitting in there. All right. Make sure you guys can get a good view of that. So here is what our yeast mixture is going to start. See, it's already starting to bubble. It's already happy. Okay, so we're going to let this sit for roughly 10 minutes, okay, until it gets all nice and bubbly and active, okay? And then we will come back on that part, okay? Okay, guys, my yeast is very, very happy and very, very activated. I hope you can see how nice and bubbly that is. So now we're going to add in 4 tablespoons of butter. I went ahead and I melted in the microwave because I find that works a lot better. So I'm gonna get all of that dumped in. That's just a little chunk there. That's okay. It's okay if it's on the dough hook. Oh, maybe well, shoot. I'll just set that right there. Okay, so I want to start off with adding just a cup of flour, okay? Just a cup of flour. I'm going to kind of level it out. And we're going to throw that in to there. And the salt. I need 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Where did my... Here's my teaspoon. 1. I forgot to grab out the half. Sorry, guys. You know me. I'm never, ever fully prepared. So, and there's a 1/2 teaspoon. Okay. So then I take my dough hook. I find that I saw someone do this and I find that it works the best. So I'm just going to kind of incorporate this together, scraping the sides as I go. For about 30 seconds or so, we're going to do this. Okay. All right, there, I'm done doing that. Okay, now I'm going to add in the remaining flour. So total, we need 3 1/3 cups of bread flour. So we've already got 1 in, but I'm going to have to fill my container up today. That's okay. We got to use what we buy, right? There's 2. There's 3. Oh. Must have grabbed the oxygen absorber out from downstairs. And there's 1/3 cup. Okay. Again, I'm just going to take my dough mixer and incorporate everything in together, okay? Oh, you know what we forgot to do, guys, is add our sourdough discard in. I'm going to do about 1/4 cup. I've learned that it just gives just enough of the flavor. And sometimes, even though when I add this in, sometimes I have to add in just a little bit more flour, and I think that's going to be okay. So now I definitely got to get this all mixed in. Something fell down. All right, we're going to get over to the mixer now. Okay, we're over here at the mixer, and I got it pretty well incorporated in by hand. So I'm just going to lock it, and then I'm just going to set it on stir for right now, and we're just going to let that mix around. I hope you guys can see what's going on in there. So I'm going to let that go. We'll probably let it go for about 2 minutes, and then I'm going to kind of see if I need to scrape down the sides or not. and we'll come back after it's been 2 minutes. She has mixed here for about 2 minutes. She is still very, 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 very wet. I'm just gonna scrape down the sides here. Eventually, when this starts getting really good, this is really, really tacky dough right now and really, really shaggy. I don't want this for my sandwich bread. So I'm going to start off with adding a good tablespoon. All right, well, I'm going to bump it up to 2 now. So we're just going to kind of let that flour incorporate in. Try and stay out of your way. I know I'm terrible about throwing my head in, and I probably did again. I'm trying to be so good about not doing that. Okay, so I'm not happy. I've learned tablespoons at a time. So I'm gonna stop this and kind of add that other tablespoon in. I think now we're getting to where I want her to be. Now see, because I added that sourdough starter in there, that kind of put a little bit more liquid in. And so I've learned I'm giving it just a little bit. See, it's still sticking down at the bottom. Okay. About another tablespoon more. I'm going to kind of, it sticks to the sides pretty good. Okay. I'm going to put her on 2. You don't want to go any higher than 2 when you're doing bread because it just will make your mixer go crazy. And it doesn't need that much power. So it's really starting to lump up and once I see it to kind of really start releasing from the bottom of the mixer, which I don't know how much closer I can bring you guys. So it's still kind of sticking down at the bottom, and then it starts to kind of spread out a little bit more. So that tells me 1 more tablespoon of flour is what I'm going to add, and I think that's going to get us to where we need to be. You know, when you're making bread, you got to think about humidity, warmth, and all that stuff. And it is drier out right now. So, you know, I notice, you know, in the wintertime I use less flour. Well, that just came apart and now it's going back together. I could stare at this all day, guys. Okay. I think we're where I wanted to be. I'm going to tap her down to stir. I do, and you know, once it's pulling away all the way from the sides. So I think we're going to leave this at 2, and I'm going to let it go for about 5 minutes, and I'm going to set a timer here for 5 minutes, and we will come back and see if I need to add more flour. Okay, guys, I've let her knead for quite a bit, so I'm just gonna lift her up and then do the finger test. So she bounced, she didn't really bounce back as much as I want her to. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna knead this for probably about 3 more minutes, and then we'll see. Okay, so our dough is ready. So I'm just gonna kind of scrape her out of this bowl, and I'm just going to pick up every little bit that I can. So, oh, I love dough. I love this feeling. It's like this really nice Play-Doh. Okay, so I've got my bowl. This is a bread bowl that I bought. It's a lot bigger than what I thought it was going to be, but that's all right. That's okay. So I got a little bit of dog hair in here. Sorry. Okay. So there, that's gone. Bo just ran by, it happens, and I've got the bowl greased. You live with pets, you do what you do. Sorry, people. Okay, so I just kind of shape it into a ball, and then I'm just gonna drop it down in the bowl. And then we're just gonna take plastic wrap. And we're gonna cover, I'm not gonna worry about spraying the plastic wrap. You can spray the plastic wrap on the bottom so your dough doesn't stick, but this is not going to get all the way up to the top, okay? So, I know, my alarm just went off. I gotta go pick Sammy up from school. Okay, so now I'm just gonna set this in the warm spot of my kitchen over on top of the dishwasher by our sourdough starter. And we're going to wait until this doubles in size, okay? All right, guys, so now my dough has doubled in size. I know the color of the bowl you can't really tell very well, so I am gonna save that paper. Oops, I forgot to grab up my bowl scraper. Okay, so my favorite part is just kind of punch it down and watch deflate a little bit. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of grab this by the edges with this, and we're just gonna pull this out. Set this over to the side. Okay. All right, so I love this dough mat. I don't have to use flour. I absolutely love it. So I've got my bread pan here. It is all greased up and ready to go. So what I do with the dough here is, now you can tell that I'm keeping it in a line with the bread pan here, and I'm just kind of flattening it out as best as I can. I think that was okay. All right, so now I'm going to just roll it. All right. I'm going to kind of tuck in the sides as I go. I hope you guys got a good view of this. Just double checking here. Okay. So then I tuck in the ends, and then I'm going to come down here and I'm just pinching up the crease that is on there. I just pinch it up really good. Okay. And this dough is okay to kind of play with. All right. And then I just plop it in the pan there, and now I'm going to grab some of that plastic wrap. I am going to spray the top of this because this will stick. And then I just am going to lightly put it over. And now we're going to let this rise till it's about 1 inch over this bread pan. Okay, so it'll take a couple of hours, and that's all right. Okay, so we'll come back when it's up to the 1 inch. All right. Okay, so I had to go to a meeting, and Bo, gosh dang it, buddy. I just got home from the meeting and it took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. And so the bread kind of maybe has overproofed. I would have let it go just a little, not as high, but hey, we're going to eat it. We're not going to waste it, right? So, and I am excited to try it out to see how it tastes. So I've got my oven preheated to 350. I'm just going to carefully put it in there because I don't want it to explode. And I'm going to cook it for about 30 minutes, and then we'll be pulling it out and checking it out, okay? Well, hey, all right, so it's the next day. I took my bread out of the oven, and what I did is I let it set in the pan for probably about 5 minutes, and then I put it on a cooling rack. And then after I put it on the cooling rack, what I do is I just take a stick of butter and I just go over all over the top of my bread, okay? And I store my bread in these bags, and I like it because the inside is kind of this plasticky thing, and it's easy to clean. And I've noticed that it doesn't mold it fast, and it keeps it fresh. So here's our loaf of bread. It's not as, I think I got to quit using that bread pan because it doesn't become as tall as I would like. But I'm just going to cut off. Well, okay, we're just going to cut off this part here. And I'm going to do a little taste test to see how it is. Okay, guys. Just a hint of sourdough. You can see it's all really nice, and it's all really just, see how it's indenting inside? Excuse me. You want to let your bread cool completely before you bust into it. Now, I think my husband mentioned last night that I need to start doing 2 loaves so that way we can eat the one loaf while it's nice and warm right away and then save the other one. So, but, you know, making bread is so easy. Okay, so we're going to finish off this video with just this loaf, and then I will come out with another video showing how I do the sourdough, the stretches and folds and stuff like that too. Okay, so I just want to say thank you guys for coming along. I hope you try this bread recipe. I will put the directions in the description down below for you so you can screenshot it, do whatever you want. And I just want to say thanks for coming along, and God bless and live your life to the fullest. Bye-bye now.